Morning, good morning. Big Square Road.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Your sip of Huddle Fuel. This is a Road to Ruda's Horn of Z's coffee. That's awesome. It tastes great, less filling. Um, I will put a link at the bottom of this video. Huddle Fuel. Go check it out and get your Horn of Z's coffee. I love it. It's fun. I want to talk about my buddy Clif High. He had sent myself and Joe an email, and then he posted it on, posted part of it, at least, on Twitter. Here's what he said. Okay, Bix and Joe, this was one of 3 temporal markers I was expecting next week. Told you we would be in it by Thursday. Good for cryptos. Curiously twisted TM temporal marker for sci-fi world. Dieters plus red pill couple equals social media revolution. Clearly, we need a revolution in social media. But the bigger thing is temporal markers for the crypto moves. Now, I am of the opinion that a massive manipulation was put in place by the good guys, most likely. It started with the Mt. Gox sales, and then they quickly figured out they don't need cryptos to crash the price, and volumes went through the roof. Just the other day, more Litecoin traded in 24 hours than has ever been created. Pure manipulation. I don't even know why they did the Mt. Gox thing, because it wasn't necessary. But they did it, and it's funny because there's things hanging over the crypto markets that the traders and the experts in cryptocurrency say, "Oh, this is going to crash the market. This is going to crash the market." I think that they are being put in that position to be out of place at the right time. So I think we had a temporary shift in the cryptos for a year, and that it was artificial, so everybody missed it, even Cliff's data, and they can do that, and that's they can put us back a year with a click of a mouse. It's the power of computers. Yes, absolutely. I was going to do something for the private road about the 4 Satoshis that I know of, the 4 people who specifically invented Bitcoin. I've talked a couple times about it, but go to roadtoroot.com and join the private road. You get more on that. And I've been talking about this long before Bitcoin was invented. So yeah, I kind of got an inside scoop on it, I think. But yeah, if you've followed me enough, you know who I think the 4 are. Actually, you know 3. I'm still working on that last one. The last one's a little tougher because it could be one of many, many people. But yeah, I do think the shift in prices, the crash was artificially set up and controlled by the good guys to give it a little more time. The time is up. I think the good guys have put all the big traders into a bad position thinking there's going to be another crash. Because technically there should be, if you believe in the technical. But the good guys don't like technical traders. They're trying to get the cryptos into the hands of the people. And that's why what I do is so important. What Bitcoin Ben's doing is so important. What a lot of us do is so important, is spreading the word. And get the Life app right under this video as well. The Life app will help spread adoption because you don't need money to get yourself some cryptos, and that's key. If the powers that be who are controlling this thing want mass adoption, you have to have mass circulation. And that's one of the things that Satoshi's Bitcoin, the million Bitcoin, are being saved for. I think that is U.S. centric because Satoshi is a U.S. centric invention. And it didn't start in 2008. It started in 1961, 1962. And then a few people did very, very, very important work to get it to where it was. When the white paper came out, it was the introduction to humanity. But if you think about it, electronic money has been around since the early 70s, since Alan Greenspan wrote the first programs to create the monetary system. So yeah. Anyway, So I do think those are the people that decided to crash the system. There is a bad element in the cryptocurrencies, and right now Tether is being created out of thin air to buy cryptos, and everybody's like, well, if Tether goes away, then everything crashes like Mt. Gox. No, the world is very different than the Mt. Gox days. Remember, Mt. Gox, there was pretty much just one exchange and everybody was in it, and there was not much confidence in the cryptos back then. And it crashed, and that crashed the whole system. Now, the problem with the system now is there's too many criminals in it. So if you take out the criminals, which I think is going to happen this summer, would if you destroy Tether and Bitfinex and the crypto cabal, Block One and all that, would it destroy the price of cryptocurrencies? Not necessarily, because you're removing the criminal element with the cryptos, and then there'll be a lot less market manipulation without these criminal exchanges. And without market manipulation, you have people who aren't high frequency trading to game the system. And you have free trading in cryptos at some point. Hopefully, the back system will do that. And I don't think it will survive long, because if you trade, it's kind of like silver. If physical silver set the price of silver, that game would be over instantly. But it isn't, it's derivatives. So if the back system is truly backed by cryptos, real cryptos, where it's verifiable, that's a problem for the market riggers and the market controllers. And for the good guy controllers, that would be the time they say, okay, here it is. This is our new monetary system going forward. And that's really cool. So Clif's note here is all about the 3 temple markers. This is the point where we run into the big crypto weekends, 3 crypto weekends, and then the big crypto summer, and then we run into the 100,000. I believe Clif did not say this. We're back on track from where we were a year ago. We're going to have $100,000 Bitcoin parties by the end of the year. You might think that's good, which it is, but other cryptos will do a hell of a lot better than Bitcoin. They're more useful, they're more necessary. Litecoin, I can't even tell you how excited I am about 2 things. One is the continued push for Bitcoin core developers and the Bitcoin maximalists to lock up Bitcoin as a store of value. And I think it will be locked up as a store of value. I don't think it will be used um, on the Lightning Network much at all, because it's not needed, and they don't want to subject Bitcoin to the masses. They want to hoard it and make it as safe as possible. That's where Atomic Swaps comes in with Charlie Lee. And I do think Charlie Lee's working with the good guys at the UN and all around the world to help the system move forward. And I do think we're going to have a lot of corporate cryptos as well. We all know that Facebook has announced, oh, we're going to make our own Facebook coin that'll be available in 2020. AT&T is accepting cryptos. Yes, it's through a third party, but they're still accepting cryptos. It's a step-by-step thing. So yeah, I think they're using BitPay. So you could pay your bill to BitPay, and BitPay gives them cash, type of thing. So yeah, I think things are moving along very well for cryptos. And the next move is going to be not only when the big money gets in, but when people see, as the old system dies, which they are clearly shooting for a December crash of Deutsche Bank and the derivative mess. That's how you get to $100,000 Bitcoin. It's only a 10x move. And considering there's a year's worth of manipulation behind us, it's probably not too far out to say, hey, there's a coiled spring in cryptos. All those people who would have got in had the crash not happened, and all the people who got out are going to be getting back in. And they aren't in yet. No, most of the people who got out are not back in yet. They're saying, oh, we're going to have another crash. We're going to have another crash. I'm going to buy at the bottom. And of course, they don't recognize the bottom until months down the line. Now, a lot of people looking back at December timeframe and saying, "Oh my God, I missed the bottom." I thought I was outsmarting the market riggers. That's the way bottoms work. It's blood in the streets. Everybody gets out, and then the smart people get it wrong too. So I expect some real big moves coming up this summer and into the end of the year. I do think we'll be talking about $100,000 Bitcoin parties. We'll be back on track, and yeah, Cliff called it. It's just like most people, he didn't call the manipulation. I did have my conversation with Michelle White Dove. It was a great talk, and she's like, it really from her, she rarely gets anything wrong, and she got timing wrong on the cryptos. But everybody did, and she said, no, Spirit's saying it's happening. It should have happened then. And she says it's going to happen again this year. If you believe in that stuff. I think it's all fun. I think Joe takes it a little too far, Snippy. You take it a little too far. And you shouldn't make investment advice on that. Take investment advice on that, but it could give you clues as to where to do your research. And once you do your research, then if it makes sense, then you combine the two. At least that's what I've been doing. I've been combining the Clif High woo-woo, the psychic woo-woo, the research, and everything I know about the good guys and the road to Ruta theory and Satoshi and the gold in the Grand Canyon, and trying to come up with what's the best way to position yourself to ride this thing out. And that's what I do on the road to Ruta. And I want to thank everybody for their kind words to me on social media. I used to have a lot of trolls. There's not many anymore. Yeah, I deleted a lot of them, but there's not many trolls anymore, and I love that. It makes it a better place to be. Although I don't read comments that much, but I know a lot of my subscribers do, and they thank you for picking up the fight against anybody trying to troll me. Um, and it's done well for us. Absolutely, not every suggestion has worked out perfectly. There's a lot of great crypto companies that have done what they're said they're going to do, but their price is nowhere. It's dying. It's not dead, but the companies are still up and running and doing things that they said. So a lot of these companies are fighting the banksters, and it seems to be those companies that fight the banksters that are worse off because we're still in the pricing, the derivative control manipulation side, and that's what the bankers are good at. So that would be my take there. But the companies are sound, and I don't know if they'll get out of the grip of the bankers when the bankers start to falter. We will find out. But yeah, everything's looking good, and we got the Cliff thumbs up. He came out of hiding. He's not hiding. He's got a lot to do, and and truthfully, it doesn't interest him as much as it did in the past, and hopefully he'll get back into it. And I think there are signs he will get back into it, which is great. And I think I told my private road members that, hey, it's the times things are booming I can finally relax. It's when they're crashing that I have to expose the criminality and give people a little pat on the head, say, hey, everything's fine, don't worry, everything's fine. So yeah, that's where we are. Cryptos are doing well, doing great. Bitcoin hovering around 8,000, Litecoin hovering around 100. Now, mind you, Litecoin should be 4-1. It will be 4-1. That's if you're looking, just like Bitcoin is gunning for 10,000, and then 20,000, and then 100,000. Those are the numbers that Bitcoin will be gunning for. Litecoin is gunning for 4-1, and until it gets there, it hasn't fulfilled what I think is the promise of Litecoin. When it gets there, then we'll have to reassess how important is Litecoin compared to Bitcoin, because that's what the ratio is: Bitcoin to Litecoin. It should take, I believe, and it will take at just 4 Litecoin to buy 1 Bitcoin. So yes, Bitcoin can crash or Litecoin can go crazy. I think Litecoin is going to go crazy. Absolutely crazy. Remember, it went from $4 to $450. So going from $100, even if Bitcoin stayed here at 8,000, that's what, $2,000 Litecoin from where it is. Just do the math. It's kind of like silver. Charlie wasn't dumb when he references silver. He said he built Litecoin to be like silver's relationship to gold, and I do think silver's relationship to gold should be 4-1 as well. But if you look at the two, Litecoin has a lot farther to go than to get to the proper relationship than silver does. Although silver's like 80 to 1. Let's see what Litecoin is right now. I lost my. This should be. I just don't want to get it wrong. It's easy, but I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, is it 80 to 1 right now? Yeah, it's 80 to 1. Both are 80 to 1. So maybe we'll have silver and Litecoin moving at the same time. But no, it's going to 4 to 1. Okay. And silver, yeah, it should go to 4 to 1, but the manipulation of silver is much more important to the banking side of it. The banking side doesn't really care right now about cryptocurrencies. They just want to try to make money off it. But silver is a bank killer. So yeah, they care about manipulating gold and silver and oil and the U.S. dollar and all that crap. As far as China is concerned, I still think they're all working together to destroy the old system and get something new going. I don't think there will be war breaking out, anything substantial. But you never know. There's some criminal rats in the sewer that could pull false flags. So just hang on. This is false flag time right now. As far as other cryptos, everything's looking pretty good. I would again, it could go down, it could go up, it could go sideways. Everything's controlled on computer programs. I don't think the good guys are looking for a crash. I think the good guys are going to take out the bad guys, and there's more and more signs. I had to find this from a New Zealand newspaper. It kind of sums up what's going on in the U.S., so I like it. It came out in New Zealand. DOJ and FBI blew through every stop sign during Trump-Russia investigation. It should be clear to everybody Trump was correct. It was a hoax. It was an attempted coup in the United States, and they know the people who did it. Senator Lindsey Graham said new information will soon emerge showing the Justice Department and FBI blew through every stop sign during the investigation into Russian election interference and possible collusion with the Trump campaign. And if you look at the Q stuff, I love this poster, FISAgate. It's a classic. McCabe and Clinton, Obama, Comey and Lynch. Those are not just the five. Those are probably the ringleaders of this stuff, but there's dozens, if not hundreds of people who are involved in this and who will be taken out. A lot of in Congress knew about it. And those are the people who are arguing, oh, we can't have transparency of this stuff. Are you kidding? We can't investigate the investigators. Well, if you don't investigate the investigators, we don't even have a country anymore. We are done. If the investigators did anything wrong, and we all know they did everything wrong, everything as in everything. And so here's some of the first proof. High-ranking FBI lawyer testimony reveals the FISA approved outside of regular procedures. Check out some of these quotes. And this was released by Representative Doug Collins. In her testimony, she alleges that, now this is the final signer of the FISA warrant. This is, what's her name? Her name is Tricia Anderson. She was the final one signing off on the FISA warrants. And she's trying to blame everybody else because she didn't get the proper approvals. And check out some of the stuff. In her testimony, she alleges that the application process for the FISA warrant was handled in an unusual fashion. First of all, you cannot have an unusual fashion when you're filing for a FISA warrant. FISA is, you have to have rock solid evidence to destroy the Constitution. That numerous Obama-era FBI officials were involved in the highest levels pushing it through. But Anderson stressed, quote, in this particular case, so we already know she didn't get the proper approvals at the proper level. I'm drawing a distinction because my boss and my boss's boss has already reviewed and approved this application. It does not matter. Your boss and your boss's boss were criminals. She emphasized This one was handled a little bit differently in that sense, in that I received very high level review and approvals, informal oral approvals. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, yeah. Approve that one before it ever came to me for signature. Informal oral approvals? That's an approval? In what world do you live in? Normally, a FISA application would go to the legal department first to confirm that it is indeed proper to press forward with it. In this case, now that's not normally, that is what is required. And before this, no FISA warrant had ever been done outside that procedure. In this case, as if there's different cases, top officials informally approved the application first. You can't informally approve a FISA application, signaling to Anderson that her signature was just perfunctory. Anderson said the FISA approvals are typically tracked in a linear fashion. Not typically, always tracked in a linear fashion, and someone in the senior executive service is the final approval on hard copy before a FISA goes to the director or deputy director for signature. She said Page FISA was approved outside regular procedure. Because there were very high level discussions that occurred about FISA, Anderson said she believed that meant the FISA essentially had already, she's busted because they didn't get the proper approvals because they couldn't, because it was a fraud. And then she's saying, well, I thought it was fine. FISA essentially had already been well vetted all the way up through at least Deputy Director McCabe level on our side and through the DAG, Sally Yates, on the DOJ side. Yates had already signed the application by the time it made it to Anderson's desk. Anderson stressed that McCabe, Yates, and Baker all played key roles in reviewing the Page FISA. Quote, my approval at that point was really purely administrative in nature. In other words, the substantive issues. The FISA had already substantively been approved by people much higher than me in the chain of command. So, well, they proved it, so I just signed it. Anderson said it typically would not have been the case. It never would have been the case that people such as McCabe and Yates would sign off a FISA before she did. Never, ever. So yeah, real exciting stuff about the good guys taking down the bad guys, and they will move their way to the cryptocurrencies. Yes, it might be chaotic, but the chaos will only be caused by traders and manipulators. It won't be caused by people getting out of cryptocurrencies. If there is a crash when they take down the likes of Bitfinex and Tether, it will be brief, like beyond brief, because it would clear the runway for the movement of free trading in cryptocurrency, which would be a great thing. So yeah, that's my take on what's going on right now. It's a big week next week. Expect big moves by the end of the week in cryptocurrencies. But remember, it's a click of a mouse for Steve Mnuchin to click and destroy the cryptocurrencies or make them rise to the rooftops. I do believe it is the good guys who is going to force the rise in cryptocurrencies from here on out. Because they need more people in. They need more people participating. And the last shakeout got a lot of people out. And a lot of people out, the people who got out were mostly people who did not believe in cryptocurrencies yet. The world has changed even more in the last year. So 2 thumbs up for cryptos, 2 thumbs up for my friend Clif Highs. I think his web bots are right back on their old track. So if you want to know what's going to happen, go look at webbot predictions from a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and you'll get a glimpse into what was put on hold and where we're going. 100,000 by the end of the year. I'm the one saying 4-to-1 Litecoin. I don't think Cliff ever said it. He's a big fan of Litecoin. But 4-to-1 Litecoin, to me, in my analysis, using everything I've got at my disposal, including information from the Road to Ruta stuff, that they are looking to replace the unbacked fiat monetary system. 4-to-1 Litecoin makes sense. So load up on Litecoin. This is Bix. I'll talk to you guys later.